Welcome everybody to the second annual Carrie Nation debate. We begin with question number 1 on Carrie Nation's Hatchetations. Question number 1, of course, were Carrie Nation's Hatchetations necessary? We will begin with the pro group. The pro group, according to what I have here, is Isan, Nick, and Jerry. Who would like to begin?
Here, I'll begin.
Okay, Jerry.
Carrie Nation's Hatchetations were absolutely necessary because she tried a lot of times to be in contact with the governors for the states. And a lot of times they rejected her or they didn't even cared about her letters and messages. Sometimes they didn't even reply to her letters. So she knew that she had to do this by herself and enforce the law by herself. So it's absolutely necessary to her for beer and wine and liquor to be banned and enforced in the right way.
Jerry making the argument that because nobody else was enforcing the laws in Kansas, that somebody had to do it. So it was necessary for Carrie to do so. Very interesting. Let's move on to the anti-group. Jason, Amy, Jared, your rebuttal, please.
Okay, so it's not necessary because she's breaking, like she's destroying like other things like mirrors, tables, chairs, and like some of the light bulbs. And she she is doing the law only for herself, not for most of the people. Okay, I'm finished.
Okay, Jared making the counter argument that she's not doing this for everybody. She's doing it for herself as a moral entrepreneur, claiming that she was taking it beyond necessary because she wasn't only destroying alcohol bottles. After the initial statements for each group, I open it up to anybody who would like to respond on the necessity of Carrie Nation's Hatchetations. That would be Jason, Amy, Eason, or Nick. Who would like to comment?
I would.
Jerry, give everyone else a chance first, then I'll come back to you, okay? Go ahead, Nick.
Okay, that is totally fine.
I disagree about Jared's what Jared just said, because maybe Nation and her group, they're just trying to destroy the alcohol at first for what they want to do. And I want to say alcohol, they are destroying a lot of families and people. So I think she is actually doing for a lot of people that doesn't have the wits to come and do the things that she done.
So Nick's saying that she had to do it because they wouldn't. Eason or Amy, a response?
Yes.
Go ahead, Amy.
So drinking alcohol is a true step by themselves. And she cannot control everybody's choice, and they will pay for it for their body was sick. But smoking is also bad for body. Then the government do make smoke a law, and she can't control everybody's decision. Yeah. And she just do it for herself because she don't want others to drink.
Amy making a very nice argument as well, saying that the law was not necessary in the first place, therefore Carrie Nation's Hatchetations were also not necessary. I believe, I think, Jason, you want to chime in here? Oh, wait, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's back to you. Sorry, Amy went next. Okay, so now Easton's already gone. Oh, Jerry, you get it. All right, you got your shot again, Jerry. What do you got?
Wait, did Amy say that Carrie Nation can't control other people's mind and she's doing it for herself?
Is that what you said, Amy?
Yes.
Yeah, Amy's reminding everyone that Carrie Nation is a moral entrepreneur.
Well, if she's doing it for herself, she didn't force anyone to follow her and did her hatchetations for the bars. Then there were still a lot of people who listened to her and believed in God and went with her to keep on doing their hatchetations, especially women. And she thought that God told her to do their hatchetations because alcohol was destroying families, and also she witnessed it by herself because she was also a person who got affected by this.
Mm. Jason, any response to your brother? Okay, Jason, you're going to have to participate in a bit. Anybody else want to chime in on the necessity of the hatchetations? Yes, Jared.
I want to respond to Jerry.
Mhm.
Okay, so did he said that like she did the hatchetation because she was also affected?
One argument that I think Jerry made was that he said that Carrie Nation participated in the hatchetations, participated in all of this because, yes, she was affected. Remember, her first husband died from alcohol poisoning.
Yes, but most of the people also like was addicted on alcohol, so like they need to like need alcohol. So like if they like Carrie Nation just destroy the alcohol, all of it, then if the people are dictated to like alcohol, won't they be like crazy?
Jared making the argument that because people are addicted to alcohol, they need to be given alcohol. Anybody want to respond? Thanks, Jared. Go ahead, Jerry.
Can they secretly hide alcohol, buy it and then hide it?
Yeah, during Prohibition, lots of people did that, Jason. Last chance to respond. We're cutting this one, and we got 90 seconds left on question 1.
Teacher,
Yeah, go ahead, Amy.
can I add something?
Of course.
Like what Carrie Nation does is like a vegetarian don't let other people to eat meat, and what she do is she don't like alcohol and she don't want others to alcohol because she believes in God, but others don't. So others free to drink alcohol or wines. Yeah.
And you compared it to smoking before. Amy's saying just because somebody doesn't like smoking does not mean everybody doesn't have to smoke. Amy's saying just because somebody's a vegetarian does that mean the whole world doesn't have to eat meat. Amy's saying that it's the same with alcohol. Just because Carrie doesn't like alcohol, does that mean the whole world, the whole United States, the whole of Kansas doesn't have to have alcohol? I think we have time for one more response. Anyone like to respond to Amy?
I would like to respond to both of them.
Yeah, okay, Jerry Chen.
If you get addicted, you of course the thing you want is to take away what you're addicted to, so your body or something else doesn't get hurt if you're addicted. And also, there is people who is addicted and harm their families even though they don't notice it. And also, if people, responding to Amy, by the way, if people doesn't want to take alcohol, I mean, if they want to take alcohol, why would they?
All right, we're going to leave this question for now. I'm going to ask Jason and Amy to lower your cameras just a bit so we can see your face during the debate. Question number 2. Were Carrie Nation's hatchetations legal? For the previous question, we began with pro, so we'll begin this question with anti. Jason, Amy, or Jared, who would like to begin on the legality of her hatchetations? Legal meaning, were they following the law by doing hatchetations, by committing hatchetations? Jason, Amy, or Jared? Go ahead, Amy.
Yes, it's not illegal because this law is have no sense, and even though she's following the law, she's like the making people following the law, but she still broke some others law, like she broke other people's things, and she didn't pay for it, and she fired houses. This is really like what psycho do, and her we've said her family have the sick on their brand or something like her cycle, and I think maybe she has some gene in her blood. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the mental illness that ran in her family. Amy's calling Carrie Nation a psycho here, huh? Amy's making the argument here that just because Carrie Nation is trying to enforce one law, prohibition, that she should not be breaking other laws by destroying property. Interesting. Argument from pro Carrie Nation, Ethan, Nick, or Jerry. Go ahead, Nick.
I think Carrie Nation's Hatchetations, they were legal because for the first thing, Carrie, she is just like she is just trying to she to what Jerry had said in the last question, she sends a lot of mails and messages to, I mean, like they're the government, they're not receiving, they're not giving back messages and mails, so she has to do like attack the bars to make the government see that she is telling them this thing. And for what she has done, for the first thing there that she's attacking the bars, she is just trying to help, like she is just trying to destroy the alcohol and the thing, and she's just trying to do what she knows, and the things that she's trying to help the people, and she is not trying to, I mean, she is not going to destroy other things, like furnitures in the first place.
Just as a point of fact, I would remind you, Nick, that she did destroy other things, mirrors, very expensive ones, paintings, etc. However, Nick does make a very interesting argument saying that, well, if the lawmakers are not enforcing the law, then is there really law at all? So how can she break the law if there are no more laws? Because the lawmakers are not enforcing prohibition. Therefore, is there really law anymore if the lawmakers, the legislators, the police officers are not enforcing them? Very interesting point that you've made there, Nick. Anti-Carrie Nation, Jason, Amy, Jared. Yes, Jared.
Okay, so she have been like destroying things, because of destroying things, getting to jail for like 13 times, and she was not paying things. Also, she was like, how to say, like when she get in jail, she like don't think of the what that she did, but was like thinking like she got famous because of this, so she want to do it more.
Jared saying it's absolutely illegal and she just wanted to be famous and call attention to what her morals were. I like it, Jared. Back to pro. Eason, Nick, Jerry. Eason, anything to say?
No.
Let's okay, Eason, focus here. Make sure you're listening to what everyone says. That way you'll be prepared to respond. I see your hand, Jerry. Go ahead.
Maybe she wasn't just trying to be famous, and she's trying to gain attention from everyone inside Kansas, since the law isn't actually enforced. If more people listen to the law, maybe it'll be enforced more. And actually, she didn't start like she just were destroying wine and liquor. And actually, when she brought people to the bars, they started hitting the expensive things, and it was not her who started
Once again,
it.
point in
And
fact.
she saw
Once again,
she
point
saw
in fact,
some.
Jerry Chen. You cannot lie during the debate. Remember, our class pointed out specifically that she personally did break things that were not alcohol. This is a fact. We cannot get around this. Continue.
But she saw things that they were actually paying more attention, and everything was getting more enforced when she does that. That's why she does it.
Jerry's saying that Carrie Nation's actions were necessary because it increased legal actions by forcing lawmakers to make alcohol actually illegal following the law to enforce prohibition. Anybody else want to comment on number 2 on whether it was legal or illegal? I see your hand, Amy. Go ahead.
Yes, so she's illegal because I want to debate with Jerry because she did break things first. If she really wants to help others, she can use a friendly way. And if she really didn't want to be famous, she can also use a friendly and like she can just she don't need to do the like saying out loud in the people. She can just going to trying to debate like what we do with the people that drink wine and alcohol. And also now we have the wine taster, so it's mean the wine is a little wine is not really bad for our body.
Once again, Amy, we are debating the legalities, not whether it's healthy or
yeah.
not.
And also Jerry was said that the lawmaker didn't follow the law, but the law is for the all of the people in this country, and the lawmaker including the people in this country, so they are controlled by the law too. Yeah.
Thank you. Jared wants to respond, I can see. Oh, hey, Jared, let's give the other side a chance first, and I'll come back to you. Anybody want to respond to Amy on the pro side? Ethan, Nick, or Jerry? Yes, Jerry, go ahead.
First of all, since Amy said way too much, can she please conclude on what she said?
Which I think she concluded just fine, Jerry. You want to make a counter argument or rebuttal?
I kind of forgot what she said.
Then listen more carefully. I was just putting a pencil in your hand and writing down the arguments that you want to respond to. It's a good technique when you debate. We spoke about this. Anything you'd like to respond to independently? Back to Jared.
Probably when she said that wine wasn't harmful for your body.
Yes, but I said that's not what we're debating. Now I cut her off on that, so don't worry. That'll be the next part.
Okay, Jared can continue.
All right, Jared, final point for Jared Chen.
Okay, I just want to add something to Amy's. Okay, so Jerry said like Carrie Nation did this for only to draw attentions, right? Yeah. So like if she want to draw attention, why would she just like why can't she do it in another way but just breaking things and get into jail?
We're gonna leave it off right there. Now you guys.
That was the point I was thinking for. I was thinking about that point.
I'm muting Jerry. We are moving on to the last two questions. These are where you can really open your arguments. We're not saying necessary or unnecessary. We're not even saying legal or illegal. We're starting to talk about right and wrong. So simply, were Carrie Nation's hatchetations morally correct or morally wrong? I think this time we go back to the pro side to begin with first statement. I think it should be Ethan or Nick, I believe. Go ahead.
Teacher, I forgot what's moral. Moral is like good or bad.
Yes, it means if something's morally correct, it means that it's right to do. If it's morally incorrect, it's wrong to do. So do you think the hatchetations were moral?
Yes, they were.
Okay, explain.
I don't really know how to explain, but like, I think it's good because she did broke a lot of rules, but she broke alcohol, and then she wanted people to follow her.
So go with that a little bit, Ethan. So make your argument there. So are you saying what she did was moral because she was enforcing the law, or was it moral because you think alcohol is bad? Which one is it, or both?
Like both of them.
Try to explain a little bit. Make your argument. You can do it.
Just like I forgot the group said.
It's okay. You're just arguing whether or not it was her going with a hatchet and destroying bars good or bad. You're saying it was good. Tell us why.
Because it was like kind of crazy and funny when she went outside with a hatchet and just destroyed bars. Like,
Yes, but crazy and funny doesn't make it morally correct. What makes it morally correct, Ethan?
she was like trying to get other people like to save lives, because if they drink alcohol, they spend money.
Sure. Ethan's making the argument that hatchetations were morally correct because she got called attention to the issue, got people to follow her. And he's saying that she was saving lives via the hatchetations. So how can it not be moral if it's saving lives? A response? Jason, Amy, Jared? Were the Hatchetations moral or immoral? Okay, I'm calling Jared. Jason, you're coming up soon, please.
Okay, but still, why won't she use another kind of like idea to do it, but just destroying things and then getting the jail to draw attentions instead of just putting like advertisements and like just do a debate or just protest.
Jared's saying, why couldn't she pick a less violent way of doing so? Response, Nick or Jerry? Okay, Jerry.
Okay, that was very good. That was very good. Jared went back to that because I had a really good answer for that. First of all, her first like motion thing, she tried to talk and have a lecture in front of everyone in the town. She even went to every town and walked a long distance to talk to everyone. But most people thought she was a psycho and she was crazy and didn't even pay attention to her. And even the government and the governors didn't pay attention to her and didn't even reply to her. Why would the citizens reply to her if the government didn't? And the government set an example of not following.
Very nice, Jerry. Response? Jason, I'd love a response. Your brother is saying that she went into the towns and told everybody what she's doing and why she's doing it. They gave them a chance. Any response, Jason? Were her Hatchetations moral? Were they right, Jason? Jason having internet. Okay, Amy, go ahead.
Okay, absolutely, it's morally incorrect because first of all, she has the family history, she has the mental illness for family history, and so I think she had the mental illness too. And also she is paying attention to destroying things, and that's a clue for her mental illness. So what she said and what she do have a little bit no sense. Also she can use a friendly way to not to destroying things and make them accept. Yes.
Okay, so Amy's actually calling in to question her mental well-being. I'm trying to go to the slide that you guys are speaking about each time. She's mentioning once again that her mother had mental illness and died in an insane asylum. I believe that we learned that her mother actually believed that she was the Queen of England, Queen Victoria at the time. Amy thinks that these genetics might have been passed down and that Carrie was not thinking properly when she was doing these Hatchetations. Therefore, she wasn't trying to act morally. She was just being crazy, according to Amy. It looks like Nick wants to respond to this. Go ahead.
So I disagree about Carrie about Amy saying about Carrie has a friendlier way. I remember she has done like speaking to the lawmaker in Carrie's method step 2. She has talked to the lawmaker before, and the lawmaker didn't have any response. So like I didn't know what better, friendlier response there is, but I think the best way and the most fast way is like to like make the governor see that they are telling that alcohol should be prohibited.
Nick making an argument once again that it is illegal to drink alcohol. Carrie Nation was trying to be as moral as possible, giving the lawmakers a chance to enforce it. But when they didn't enforce it, of course, Hatchetations were the next step. Nick says if the lawmakers weren't going to do it, that she thinks that she had the best way of doing it. Miss Amy?
Yeah, the lawmaker, if the lawmaker don't drink alcohol too, then they also think this law is no sense too, because it's by something, it's by someone, it's by a little, like not a lot of people, and she just talked to the lawmaker. Lawmaker is just one person in this country. the law is for a billion of people in the country. So I think she need to talk to the one that drink alcohol and not the lawmaker.
Amy's saying the law is nonsense. Therefore, Amy's making the argument, I think, that since so many people did not believe in the law, then maybe they should not have made the law in the first place. So Carrie trying to destroy bars was not the proper way to deal with this. The proper way to deal with this might have been to get rid of what Amy's calling a nonsense law. I see Jared's hand up, but let's let the opposition give a response first. Jared, before you. Ethan, Nick, and Jerry, would you like to respond to Amy? I see your hand, Jerry. Go ahead.
Did she mention mental illness and genetics?
She did it. She did in her previous argument. You can respond to that if you like.
I think like there's a little chance that she could actually be like passed on by this insane and stuff. But maybe if you don't have any evidence, you can't make an argument out of that because no one had proof that she'd actually have this insane thing. And even if she had determination inside her, and she would, even though she's like so old already, she still went on and continued to prove herself and tell everyone that she was right. And yeah.
Jerry's saying there's no evidence of her having mental illness. It looks like Eason wants to respond to that. Was there any evidence of mental illness, Eason?
Like, it also could not be mental illness. It was, she could be poorly educated, so nah.
Eason saying it might not just be mental illness. She might also be poorly educated. You remember, you're pro Carrie Nation, Eason. You're not helping her right now.
I know.
But you made your teacher laugh. That's wonderful. Eason saying that it's not just that she was crazy. She also was ignorant and not well educated. Thank you, Eason. Jared, you still want to go, don't you?
Yes, I just want to add something to Amy's argument. So Amy said that the things. So why don't Carrie Nation just make a speech to let the people know?
Jared wants her to do it in different ways. Last chance for this, and then we're moving on to our final question. Sure, Jerry, go ahead.
Amy, I mean, she also said that why Jared also made the point stronger that they couldn't just started some kind of speech, but she actually did, but not in very big crowds and a lot of people. But they actually she did, even because she didn't gain any attention. She can only do lectures in front of a town and can't do it, and because she couldn't get in contact with the governors.
Thank you, Jerry. All right,
let's conclude this. I have a really good point.
Okay, Jerry.
I think that Carrie Nation was right, but it was the lawmakers that was wrong to make this law in the first place. But she was doing her best to enforce the law, and the lawmakers were the ones that was wrong in the first place.
Yeah, Jerry making the argument that the law was wrong, but since it was the law, that Carrie Nation was right in trying to enforce it. Amy, we're running out of time. We got to move on to the last question. Of course, the last question, Jason, you're going to go first because I've only heard your voice once so far. The last question is, was Carrie Nation a hero or a villain? Start us off, Jason.
I'm on the anti side, so am I supposed to say villain?
You are supposed to say villain.
Oh. Wait, is that all I need to say?
Why was she a villain, Jason?
Because he keeps going to random bars and destroying expensive stuff.
Anything else?
Should I say anything else?
You can talk as much as you want. You have the floor.
I can talk. Okay.
Jason's made the argument that, look, of course she's a villain. She's destroying people's property. Anything else, Jason?
I'm just going to say that.
Okay. Jason saying villain. She's destroying bars. She's destroying property. Anyone like to respond from the from the pro group? Eason, Nick, or Jerry? Let's start with Nick. Eason, I'll give you the next go around.
Hello. So I think Nation, she is a hero because to what Jerry had said in in the last question, she said that the lawmakers, they make the laws and they're not like, they're to the first place, the lawmakers, they are not achieving the laws, so they are wrong at the first place. And Carrie, she is trying to uh like achieve the law, and she is trying to make the law a law that's going to make people believe in like a law. So I think she is actually helping the government, and the governments, they are not helping the country.
Nick making the easy argument there. She's a hero because she is helping to enforce the law. How can she be a villain when she's just trying to enforce the law? Yes, Amy.
Yeah, I'm catching that. Jerry already said that the law is like the lawmaker are wrong. If the lawmaker around the law that they make is wrong too. And then if Carrie Nation is following the wrong law, that means she is the wrong. And also, if she is really a hero, why don't she pay for the things that is destroyed? It's very expensive. Maybe some of them is connect with a person's life, and maybe they work really hard for that. And if she's really a hero, she won't do that, I think.
Yeah. The funny thing here is that when I visited Amy's group and they were planning this debate, the first thing Amy said was, I'm in the debate club and I'm not good at debates, but Amy is doing exactly what you're supposed to do in a debate. She's not just arguing the points, she's using the opponent's words against them. Amy's pointing out that Jerry already said that it's a bad law. Therefore, how in the world can Nick then say that she's a hero for enforcing a law that's bad? Very strong point, Amy. Response is, would you like to go? I think it's Eason's turn, I believe.
Just saying to Jason, she was going to destroy alcohol in bars, so that's a hero.
Eason
That's all.
says, so yeah, go ahead, Eason.
I
That's
mean,
all.
that's all.
Yeah, Eason was responding to Jason saying she's a hero, that she's a hero because she was destroying alcohol and alcohol was illegal. Anybody else? Floor is open. Yes, Amy.
Me, please.
Okay,
Oh,
yep, Amy
okay.
just went. Jerry first. Jamie, sorry, Jerry, then Jared, then Amy.
I think we could compromise over here. And Carrie Nation is a hero for her supporters, and she's a villain for liquor addictors, okay, and the governors, okay. I think we could compromise over here. Let's end it here. She's a hero for her supporters and a villain for
You are
other
not a
people.
compromiser, Jerry. You are a pro Carrie Nation supporter. Who did I say is next, Jared or Amy? I forgot. Go ahead, Jared.
Yes. So I just want to say that, like, if Carrie Nation is just for like do this only for like doing for this law, then why even she like break the other law, like break even more laws to round one law
Yeah,
for like
in English, we like to
do
say,
it for
sorry, Jared, I did not mean to interrupt you. He makes the point. In English, we have a saying, it's that two wrongs don't make a right. So Jared is saying that by Carrie Nation trying to enforce one law, she's breaking other laws. Does that really make it right? Amy?
Sure, like the pro side was get a lot of strange points. Yeah, like such as Nick said, I forgot who said that the lawmakers is wrong. They are making the wrong law. And Jerry said Carrie Nation have no wrong because she's following the law, but that means she's following the wrong law. So why don't she wrong? And also that Jerry admits she have the well-aligned side too. So if he really think is a hero, why he think she said well.
If Jerry really thinks he's a hero, then why is Jerry saying that the law is nonsense too? Yes, Nick.
I remember 20th I remember our vocabulary 20th amendments. It means that um prohibition has canceled in the 20th century, and I believe that this law is is made in the 18th century. So I think that's when the time when the time the people make the law, they are not wrong. Like the
Nick,
people that make
Nick, let me interrupt you for a moment. Remember, my job is kind of to make sure the facts are on. Number one, you're thinking of the 18th Amendment. The 20th Amendment was the one that gave women the right to vote. The 18th Amendment is the one that made alcohol illegal all throughout the United States. But if you were paying attention in our recent class, then you would remember that alcohol was made illegal in certain states before 1920. As you can see here, alcohol was made illegal in Kansas in the late 1800s. And where did Carrie Nation live, Nick?
Kansas.
Right. So in 1881, alcohol was already illegal in Kansas. So that was a really good try to make it a legal argument like that, but got to stick with the facts. Response. Open floor. Last 2 minutes. Carrie Nation, hero or villain? Would anybody like to make a final point? If there's no more points to be made, it has been my pleasure to moderate this debate. All of you did an excellent job preparing, arguments sound, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to cut the video
Guess
off now.
what? I am the imposter.
All right, I'm stopping the recording.